welcome to the OK Nerd podcast. My name is Oscar.
And I'm Keegan, and this is the podcast where two friends talk about anything and everything nerd.
Yeah. So, how's your evening going, Keegan?
It's going good because, tonight we got another nerd roundtable again to basically celebrate the new Spider-Man movie of Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah. So, go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys.
Yeah, so I'm Matt Shavers, good friends with everyone here. Matt Shavers and the Evil Ways is my band out of San Antonio, Texas. And I also have a film production company called Fuzzy No Fuzzy Productions that we all help each other out on. And I'm Matt Shavers.
Hey, I'm Matt Navarro. I'm the bassist for his band, Matt Shavers and the Evil Ways. Hopefully going to do some live shows soon. And that's all I got.
I'm Devin Donovan. I'm an actor / writer for Fuzzy No Fuzzy Productions, and I'm the drummer for his band, also hopefully doing live shows soon and just bringing creativity to the world.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And yeah, for like our listeners and our viewers, make sure to go and check out Matt Shavers and the Evil Ways and Fuzzy No Fuzzy Productions on YouTube.
Y'all are on Spotify too as well, right?
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, iHeartRadio, all the shit.
All the
perfect.
Wherever you can hear music, you'll find
y'all
Matt Shavers and the Evil Ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the Evil Ways. I don't like Matt Shavers. No, just
well, we're kicking that guy out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. You suck. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what y'all do when y'all get so big, and then have
that
as a backup.
You gotta kick all the ego out.
Yeah.
There's the inevitable fallout with all the drugs that all the musicians do.
I don't know about drugs, maybe water.
He overhydrated himself. He actually drowned drinking a bottle of water.
Right. Today we're actually, like Keegan said, we're gonna be talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. We all saw the film.
Yeah.
Just for our listeners and our viewers out there, spoiler alert, we are going to be talking about everything. So if you haven't seen the film and you don't want to
spoil anything,
you don't want to hear to any spoilers, just come back to this when you've watched it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't seen it by now, you're fucking up. But
yeah, literally.
Come on, man. I think twice.
All those spoilers are out there anyway. So
yeah, true.
Well, to start off, man, I want to ask y'all, what did y'all think about the film? Like, just overall, what was y'all's thoughts about it?
I guess to sum it up in a brief statement, it was it's kind of like it felt like the conclusion that we wanted, needed, and deserved. It felt concluded. Like it wrapped up 3 different eras of Spider-Man into one movie, to the point where as we were watching it, I forgot I was watching an MCU film. It just felt like a Spider-Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fucking awesome.
To kind of put into words that you once said, it felt like in-game levels of hype, where there was this big giant cinematic event that concluded a trilogy. And it like Matt was saying, it didn't feel like it was just a trilogy that it was concluding. It was concluding a
whole ass universe.
Yeah, essentially. And a trilogy that started, 20 years ago?
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah.
And didn't even know that story needed to be wrapped up, but it did. And it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And a redemption for a character that some of us didn't quite like in his 2 movies. But, it was a lot of redemption and a lot of conclusion and closure that I think a lot of Spider-Man fans were looking for.
I definitely because Tom Holland signed on for another 3 Spider-Man movies, if I understood correctly. And I think this was a great kickoff to show us hey, this is the Spider-Man that we're gonna get from here until whenever the fuck we're finished with him. Because it really showed it was a pivotal movie for Peter Parker, in the sense that he went from this kid kind of not knowing what he's doing, being mentored by these people, but still trying to get it figured out on his own. Mm-hmm. And it transitioned into okay, now I know what the fuck I'm doing, and I need to take my own actions since there's no one here to guide me anymore. I don't know if that made sense. But.
No, that made perfect sense, because the way me and Oscar were talking about it earlier was, in a weird way, these first 3 movies was like a origin story to actually get the Spider-Man from the comic books that we know, you know?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so, you know, there's no more Stark Tech, there's no more other heroes because, you know, at the end of the movie, nobody knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man anymore. They know Spider-Man's out there, but all those relationships and everything like that, they're not there anymore.
Yeah, it's like clean slated.
Yeah,
Sure.
no more what is it, Iron Lad,
Yeah.
how I had said
Mhm.
earlier, because that
And,
was
yeah,
that
in the
was one of
previous episode, Oscar was just like pissed off at how, you know, Tom Holland and that Spider-Man was just Iron Lad. That's what like that was the nickname Oscar gave him.
yeah, and this trilogy was kind of like an origin story to get to the Spider-Man that we know in the comics. It even
Yeah.
concluded with the you know, the classic suit. So it was kind of
But-
nice to see that.
Yeah, and what's fucking cool that they did by the end of this new Spider-Man movie is that classic line that we all know and love: with great power comes great responsibility. This is the first Spider-Man movie where Peter Parker actually does that. He sacrificed all of his relationships
Yeah.
for the sake of power and responsibility.
Yeah. I
Like
get you.
no more girlfriend, no best friend, no parents, nothing.
You're on
Because
your
the
own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the responsibility of being a hero.
And when you think about it, I mean, this Spider-Man, I mean, that is the ultimate sacrifice because he had it all. I mean, from the first movie, he had the friends, he had the family. I mean, he had the future. Like, that was one thing that kind of pissed me off in the movie was the whole MIT thing. Like, I get it, they're high school kids, but at the same time, it's like, you can just go work for Stark Industries. I mean,
Yeah, Pepper will give you a
they
job.
know what you're capable of. Like, you'd be grandfathered in, you know, to Stark Industries if you wanted to. I mean, he had everything that you could possibly think of, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and he sacrificed all of that.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a weird thing with the MCU right now as a whole, is you have all of these people, these amazing people who saved the whole fucking world and galaxy and shit. But after the blip, they're all getting jerked off
Yeah.
by the government and shit. It's like, how come none of these people are being taken care of? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Falcon literally needed to apply for a loan.
First, okay, yeah. I was just going to talk about that. How the hell is Tony Stark not paying these heroes? That man is literally a billionaire.
Well, he was, but he's dead now.
Well, like he was taking care of them and everything like that. Oh, one thing that I saw somebody had commented on, you know, like when Peter's getting like interrogated by damage control and all this other stuff,
Right.
and then they start looking into Stark Industries because of the drone system, and that the drone system Edith was given to Peter. And somebody made the comment, they were like, well, it looks like Tony Stark's daughter is fixing to go from private school to public school now. Lawsuits and stuff. I was like, you know, I didn't think about that because I was like, oh man, Stark Industries and everything. But then you got to remember Pepper and, you know, Tony's daughter, they're still out there, you know, living off of that. And
Pepper, I believe, owns the company, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I think it was like in one of the Iron Man movies. It was either Iron Man 2 or 3 where he makes her like the CEO of it because he doesn't want to deal with the business side of things anymore.
I mean, that could have been something that could have been touched up in the whole Civil War thing about, you know, why sign up with the government.
Yeah,
is because, well, then you'd get like a whole The Boys situation where, you know, superheroes become corporatized, and then you have God knows what Iron Man will do to civilians.
Well, I know we're talking about Spider-Man, but fuck, I would love to hash out Civil War too. But we're talking about
dude, we could definitely do that on a different episode.
I have my issues with Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War is like a whole fucking thing. One gripe, and I want to know the rest of y'all's opinions too. One gripe I had with No Way Home is I don't understand why Aunt May and Happy broke up.
Oh yeah.
That bothered me. I was like, well, it kind of like doesn't make her sacrifice as heavy as it could have been, I guess.
Like why they put that in the film? Like why they had to break up? Yeah, I kind of see it.
If they were still together and she died, that would have been a really nice dramatic moment when Happy pulls up.
Well, he was still pretty sad, you know, like because he still loved her because he didn't want the breakup. She did because apparently he was too clingy.
which is funny and accurate. I don't know. I just feel like Happy had gone through a lot, and it's like maybe by this point, Happy wouldn't be a little bitch anymore. Like
he's just, he's just wanting to, live his life.
He's a simp.
Yeah, he's a rich simp. That's why she stayed probably.
Yeah,
true. Fucking bang it.
We really don't have a rating system or anything. I mean, we're not here like reviewing movies, but when it comes to this movie, what is y'all's rating from 10? From 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
For No Way Home?
Yeah.
9.99.
Oh, I was gonna say 9.5 because just to every movie has its faults. But,
yeah. Well, literally the 0.01 is for me is like I wish they weren't broken up.
Okay, I mean, I have my gripes too, but I'll go after that. I mean, what about you, Navarro?
Rating wise, I think I'd give it I don't know, probably along with Devin, 9.5, 9.6 if I can. Right. I could do it.
It's a nearly flawless film, I would say.
I agree with y'all 100%. And it does have its flaws and like some of the logic and everything like that into it, but like in my opinion, that was the best Spider-Man movie we have gotten, like even back into like Tobey Maguire's stuff. Like, everybody always said Spider-Man 2 was
it still
best. Still is. And then Andrew kind of had, kind of a shittier situation. And then this one actually was like a love letter to the fans, but it wasn't so fan servicey to where they didn't throw Toby and Andrew at the last 10 minutes. Like, hey, I jumped into the fight, let me help you win. And then they send them off back to their universes. They actually got to talk with each other.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't like the fucking Star Wars sequels where you had all of these like crazy nostalgic characters who never meet up again before they fucking kill them all.
Where, they high five each other 1 second and then all of a sudden that's the last scene that you see of them through the whole movie.
Dude. No, they actually did that correctly with No Way Home. It was the perfect dynamic between the actors and their versions of Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm. Like I literally could have sat through a whole hour of just hearing them talk about stories and stuff like absolutely. That. Like when they were talking about the different villains they fought, which was really cool that Toby mentioned Venom. Mm-hmm. But I wish he would have explained to, Andrew and Tom Holland's Peter Parker about what Venom was and how he had it, attached to him at one point, because down the line one of them can wind up getting it, and we'll probably go into more because I heard some news today that that Andrew Garfield might actually get his third Amazing Spider-Man movie because of how well he did. Everybody is like talking about how out of all three of those actors he killed it.
He did. They actually gave him the redemption that he needed,
and he deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. Like one thing I really enjoyed about No Way Home is that they didn't shy away from the writing of both Toby and Andrew's like respective Spider-Man. Like Toby was kind of geeky, but he's older now, so he's wiser. So he's not as like I'm Peter Parker, but like kind of like how he was in the trilogy. Like he's a wiser, but he's still the dork that we all know and love.
Yeah.
And Andrew comes in with his crackhead energy from the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I'm just glad that they didn't shy away from how they were written originally. Like they didn't try to rewrite it.
Like to where they had different personalities and everything like that.
Like they just took what they had and then improved on it instead of just trying to like cover up, like, oh, these were bad, so we'll change them. Like I'm very glad they stuck with their personalities.
Yeah.
It was fan service done right, and I liked it because they were actually supporting characters.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Like I wasn't expecting that. Now I of course had heard the rumors that they were going to be in there, and all actors were going to show up. Of course, Daredevil was going to make some cameo.
That was all of that's absolute favorite scene in that movie.
Mine too, man.
I heard all of that, but I wasn't expecting Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire to actually be supporting characters and to show that each Spider-Man is a genius in their own right. Mm-hmm. And to show Tobey Maguire kind of being like the father figure, telling Andrew Garfield like, no, man, like you are amazing. And being the one to stop Tom Holland from killing the Green Goblin, telling him like, it's not like, don't let that rage affect you. Like, don't become hateful. It was nice to see Tobey Maguire, the oldest one, being that supporting character. I was like, yes, because I was afraid that they were kind of like Keegan said, they were going to show up like the last 10 minutes,
high five each other,
like
and get out.
get this nice, awesome, grandiose entrance, fight, and then get out, just to say, hey, look, the fan service, right? Like, there you go.
Well,
but no, I mean, they were supporting characters.
Was they all got to talk to their villains too,
Which
I didn't think about it and everything, and then when I saw it, I was like, that's perfect. You get all the Spider-Men to actually talk and plan, and then after the fight's all done, they talk to their villains that they've cured now.
Except they didn't really do that with Tobey Maguire and Willem Dafoe.
I thought that would have been interesting if they did.
That's the other thing. They should have had a moment with them longer than the one moment that we did get.
Well, but I guess the reason why they might have done that is just because it seemed like the Green Goblin was Tom Holland's villain in this movie. But Peter did have a stronger connection with Doc Ock. That was like his mentor, and he knew Doc Ock was a good person, in the end, but I think maybe that was why he didn't get to have that, hey, you're cured. No.
Sure. Yeah.
But Willem Dafoe, I mean,
he killed it. Like,
dude, brutal as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, he was the villain. Like, he is the Green Goblin. I mean, man, if he doesn't get an Oscar for that performance.
And also, you could just use that demo reel of him laughing when Peter's punching him in the hallway, just as like proof that he should be the Joker and the Dark Knight Returns live action movie that should happen.
That would be great if he did that.
See, that would have been.
Nah, he is the Green Goblin.
Well, he's absolutely the Green Goblin, but I want him to play the Joker so badly, so very badly.
I like that they gave him his iconic.
The
his iconic
hoodie,
the hoodie, and then because I kind of saw that as he was fighting and the way it was getting torn up and stuff. I was like, no way, like they're actually gonna do like the little purple hoodie thing, which was nice. I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Navarro?
I was gonna say I want to go back to what Keegan was talking about when the.
It cut out.
Yeah.
Just
it cut out. Yeah.
No,
just say that again.
No, I was just gonna say, going back to what. Ooh, we good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Shut up. Okay, cool. About the Spider-Man talking with their villains, I think what made it have more of an impact, and I didn't realize it till later, was the last time these Peter Parkers saw their villains, they were all fucking dead.
Yeah.
Like Doc Ock came in like right before he drowned in the reactor thing, and then Peter lived his life, and then he came in fucking well after 20 years after Otto died. So seeing him again 20 years later, finally getting that redemption of like, hey, I fucking saved your life. I did the thing that I tried to do 20 years ago.
Yeah,
like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
dude. The when Doc Ock has the arc reactor and says his iconic line, in the palm of my hands and everything, and then when he's all cured and he asks Peter, how he's been, he's like, what does he say? He's like,
I'm trying to do better.
Yeah, trying to do better. And I was like, oh, it just hits you right there. I was like, man, that's great.
That was probably my favorite, like, Spider-Man talking to villain interaction, because I'm a Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi fanboy when it comes to Spider-Man. Those are the Spider-Man and characters I grew up with. So seeing those two interact with each other was just probably one of the most wholesome moments in the movie.
Oh, I agree 100%.
And just Doc calling, like, he's like, it's good to see you, dear boy. Like, really,
dude, yeah.
Yeah, he says like, oh, you're all grown up, and then the audience takes that into their emotions.
Oh yeah,
because we're all
like, yeah, I'm also grown.
Yeah, we're just trying to do better. Yeah, we're just trying to do better.
Dude, what did y'all feel when Andrew saved MJ? Like, did any of y'all tear up? Because I'll admit I teared up. My wife was looking at me, and she was like, rubbing my back, because I was like, he sold that
perfectly.
And I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
Going to
Okay.
that. I was gonna. How was the theater experience for y'all though?
Oh, it's completely packed, and like everyone was clapping and shouting and cheering during every fucking thing.
Everyone had like their big cheer moments for Andrew, which is cool. Then as soon as Toby showed up, it was fucking like a roar.
Okay, yeah, because my theater was the same. I didn't watch it with Keegan. We watched it separately.
I watched it on the 16th, but I watched it at like 5 p.m. So my theater wasn't as packed and everything, but we had a few laughs and some claps and everything like that. It was actually pretty tame.
Yeah, and my theater, the audience, we all had the exact same reaction. I mean, when all the villains showed up, when Willem Dafoe did the meme, something of a scientist myself, like everyone laughed. When Charlie Cox, they showed Daredevil and he's like, he catches the brick, I'm just a really good lawyer. Everyone was like, yeah. When Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire came in, when Jamie Foxx was like, there has to be a black Spider-Man somewhere out there, everyone was like, yeah, Miles. Like everyone was just in it. Like everyone was just so happy, and it was an amazing theater experience. Like that was probably the only movie that I can think of in recent years that I not only did I enjoy the movie, but I was like, yeah, like I enjoyed being at the movie theater.
Well, that's like one of the cool things about all this nerd shit. It's like it brings people together. And we all feel that shit together, and it's cool.
I would say the last time I felt that kind of experience in a theater was both Infinity War and Endgame, because everyone was just hyped, more so for Endgame. And I can remember specifically which one it was, is when Cap caught the
Mjolnir.
Yeah.
That shit.
Everyone lost it, and I was like,
I still owe you $10.
Yeah, I told him that shit was gonna happen in the movie. He was like, no, it's not.
I was like, that's fucking stupid, Devin. And now I owe him $10.
It was gonna be his last movie. Of course, he was gonna lift the hammer. Like, come on.
No, I think the closest experience I ever had to a full packed out movie theater was when I saw, and this is all my anime knowledge and everything, of Dragon Ball Z. Revenge of F and Dragon Ball Z Broly. Those theaters I was in were just packed. There were people sitting on the steps and like friends coming in and separating just to get seats. And people were clapping, cheering, high-fiving each other.
So about Dragon Ball Z Broly, because I saw that with a group of friends too, but we were all separated because it was just packed.
Yeah.
It was a dude who brought his set of Dragon Balls to the movie, and when Shenron came out, he just like lifted that thing like it was Simba from Lion King.
He's like, I'm fixing to summon the dragon right now.
In this Palladium.
Sadly, there was no one dressed as Spider-Man in our theater, so I don't know about y'all.
Neither did us.
I think we had like 2 people.
Did we? Oh no, we did.
We had like 2 people.
They trickled in after the lights went down.
Yeah.
But
did anybody because a couple of people, when Andrew saved MJ, like we had a few of the gas, a few, like little claps and stuff, and yeah. Was there anything like that, or was it just kind of like, kind of happy and everybody was just taking it in?
It was like a mix of both. Mm-hmm. Personally, now look, Tom Holland is a babe, right? But if I was MJ in that moment and Andrew Garfield caught me, I'd be like, Tom Holland, who, dude?
Yeah. Like she just
they don't remember.
Oh yeah, I guess.
But
one of the themes. Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, just on the Andrew's Spider-Man catching MJ, I can remember vividly as soon as it shows like MJ falling and then Tom Holland gets swept away by Goblin, and it like the second it shows Andrew, one of our friends down the line goes, he's gonna catch her out loud, and I was like, you said that would be a stupid idea, and here you are cheering. It just goes to show how great a movie can change your idea of something that you hear as a theory that could happen.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people be like, no, if Andrew catches MJ, that'd be dumb. I was one of the defenders of it, like, no, that'd be great.
That's a redemption arc for us.
He gets a redemption for it.
Because that, like, his character was defined by Gwen dying. And
Right.
that, and you know, we didn't get to see a third movie or anything of how he did. He just got to mention that after that moment, he just focused on that moment of how that's his greatest failure. He started, you know, not pulling his punches anymore. And so I'm like, this dude was straight up just killing people.
Yeah, that's
afterwards.
the line that got me when I first heard it. I was like, yo, wait, is he implying that he started killing people?
Yeah,
No, he just Batman their asses, you know, he just beats the shit out of them.
and
Yeah, just
that's
crack
what-
skulls on concrete. Like I didn't
That's-
kill him, but I just knocked him
because
unconscious in the
he
cold.
brings that up when, you know, Tom Holland's Peter Parker is, you know, sad that Aunt May's dead and wants to kill Green Goblin. And you know, that was the whole scene of Toby and Andrew basically saying, hey, look, we've killed people before out of rage.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't make anything better. And then all of a sudden Andrew's like, yeah, I stopped pulling my punches and stuff. And I'm like, man, what happened to Rhino at the end of the second one? Like, just slam into him and like,
He's fucking dead, bro.
yeah.
It was the decapitation with the fucking steel grate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was great. And I don't know if this was the actors like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, them playing as Spider-Man, knowing the character, or if this is just, you know, the director, the producer, who themselves, I mean, they're big fans. But I really enjoyed the scene where after they find Tom Holland, you know, and he's crying and he's on the rooftop at night, and then the other Spider-Man come and they tell him like, hey, I know what you've been through, and he just tells them like, no, you don't. I like how none of them
Tried to like
try to come in and be like, listen here, you little bitch. No, like I like how they all just gave him his moment, even though they know exactly what he is going through, but they didn't try to like, nah, listen here. They just sat back and said, oh, like, dude, you know, like, we'll let you have your moment.
That
Because
scene almost irritated me because I'm like, do you not see what they're wearing, dude? Like, this guy's like wearing a spot. You just saw them come down.
no, but the thing about being Spider-Man is having to process that. I mean, how do you think Tom Holland would have liked it if they just said, no, you're just a kid, we know what you're going through?
Didn't you know Uncle Ben died? Like, didn't your Uncle Ben die?
I like to imagine he's not written into the MCU, so Tom Holland's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, who's Uncle Ben?
I have an uncle?
Talking about Uncle Ben, there was this one thing that kind of irked me in the movie. Now, so when we were talking about ratings, I didn't get to give mine, but I gave mine a 9 out of 10. And I have some gripes with it, but
whoa, no,
yeah.
I'm joking.
Well, one of the gripes that it's not really a gripe, but I was just kind of like, wait, was so you have Willem Dafoe, you know, the Green Goblin, excuse me, come back, and Doc Ock knows that he died, but yet he's back, and they're both of them alive at the same time, even though Doc Ock is like, wait, like, you freaking died. If people from the dead are coming back to life, and after Doctor Strange does his spell thing, and they all go back home cured, does that not mean that, depending on how the spell worked, could that not mean that other people that might have died have also come back to life? And could Uncle Ben maybe have come back to life in another universe? I mean,
so
I don't think so.
Well,
yeah.
you keep in mind the spell was one for people who only knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and I don't think Uncle Ben knew.
Yeah, because remember, he died before any of that. He was the one that inspired Peter to be Spider-Man.
Okay, right. Yeah, you're right.
But maybe fucking James Franco was alive. That's
And Dane DeHaan.
Yeah.
The two Harry Osborns.
Yeah.
The meth head goblin.
Everyone shits on Dane DeHaan's Goblin, but I actually liked it.
Dude,
I like Dane DeHaan.
I liked it.
I liked it. I think Dane DeHaan's a really good actor.
Yeah,
Kind of going off of what Oscar was saying, because the whole spell was just basically it brought in everybody who knew Peter was Spider-Man and everything like that. And then, at the end, everybody was like, well, what happens? Well, from the Loki series, we realize one change causes a branch timeline. And so everybody went back to, the points where they're at. and it changes from there. But it doesn't change, Toby's universe, because he went back to the point where, Green Goblin's dead, Doc Ock is dead, and he just continues on. And then when everybody goes back, it's a new timeline. Everybody's cured.
Right.
Yeah, it's because that's how the MCU sets up like time travel and all that.
Right,
Is that
Yeah, exactly.
changing events from the past doesn't change your future. It just branches off into a new timeline.
Yeah.
That it doesn't affect your future, but affects this new future.
Yeah.
Which
because then your present now becomes your past.
Yeah. Which means
Makes
Back to
sense.
the Future is just bullshit.
Yeah.
But no, I actually have issues with that definition of time travel because I don't know if it makes sense.
Dude, time travel don't make sense.
I was about to say, here's the thing, Devin. We have never time traveled. So
I mean fair enough. Like, who fucking knows what happens what will happen if we time travel, or if we can time travel to begin with. I just like the idea of storytelling where going back in time affects your future because it's a consequence kind of thing.
That's
one thing that kind of bothered me was, how Strange and Wong were talking about that spell, and Wong couldn't remember, but Strange did. I always assumed that the person who was casting the spell
would remember,
but I was like,
won't remember Peter.
Yeah, but I guess in a way he had to forget, because then the time cracks and everything wouldn't seal if he knew too. It would just branch off of everything. Because it just bothered me after the movie. I was like, why couldn't Strange, like the former Sorcerer Supreme, since Wong took it over when he got blipped away?
Right. But Stephen was never actually Sorcerer Supreme, right?
No, he was. After the first movie, Doctor Strange, he became
Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah, okay. Then got
Wong became it.
That was actually my gripe with the movie. That is my one gripe, is the spell.
Oh, really?
It is a very confusing spell, but we're not.
Because my thing is that you're talking about, okay, by technicality, not the Sorcerer Supreme, but you're talking about Doctor Strange. I mean, the guy has done the impossible, and you're telling me he can't do not one little spell because Peter Parker is changing like 4 or 5 things. Well, now I get it. I get it that Parker is like, well, I don't want Mary Jane to forget. I don't want my best friend Ned. I don't want Aunt May. And that kind of irked me that Doctor Strange was like, wait, stop talking. I can't concentrate.
Lack of
we have to have a movie. We have to have a movie. So shoot.
Right. No, they should have talked out the spell before doing it.
No, it means Peter needs to shut the fuck up.
No, it means Doctor Strange needs to learn how to concentrate. Like, because Strange is the one who did the spell.
What they should have done, I feel like what they should have done was they should have done like some device genie type thing where Doctor Strange is like, look, what you want, Peter, it can be granted, right? Like, here's this magic device thing, but you got to read the fine print, and that's where you get the consequences of the multiverse thing, because the
Santa Claus Tim Allen, like the Santa Claus print.
I feel like that would have made more sense, because I feel like in this movie they kind of just made Doctor Strange a bitch. Like, oh, I fucked up the spell. I got beat in my own mirror dimension.
Dude, that was so funny.
Like, I was over here basically just willing to kill off people because I want to fix my damn mistake. Like, I don't know. I just felt like they kind of made Doctor Strange like this. No, Peter, stop.
Like they jerked him off.
Yeah. It's like, come on, man. Like, he's the Sorcerer Supreme. Make it a little bit more challenging to where if there was some magical device that he's like, oh crap, we didn't read the fine print that says, hey, if you do this, guess what? There is a consequence.
A multiverse rift.
Yeah, that now Doctor Strange has to come in and use his actual knowledge of being Sorcerer Supreme to fix it all. I don't know. I just felt like they could have gone a better route with that. That was my only gripe of the movie. Yeah. Everything else was perfect.
What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was gonna say that like the whole, like it kind of cleared itself up. What I was gonna say was that the whole like Strange trying to like fix his own mess thing. I feel like that kind of plays into his character of like the perfectionist doctor that he was before.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
before he became Doctor Strange, because he was always like super nitpicky with everything. Yeah. And when he set his mind to something, he was like, I can't let this go until I finish it the way that I want to finish it.
Like
Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
have to do this. And plus, I guess with the doctor's mentality, it doesn't matter,
But-
what happens, that as long as you fix the problem, it doesn't matter what happens in the consequences.
But
of
I feel
things.
like he has already learned that. I mean, considering what he has gone through with the whole Endgame Thanos arc and his own movie, I mean,
But
I
he was
feel like
willing to let Tony die though in order to get that outcome. You know what I mean?
I feel like Tony sacrificed himself.
But
Well,
that-
he
but
knew
that
he
was
knew
the-
that
that was the
Tony he
one-
knew that Tony would sacrifice himself. That's what he told him. It was the only way.
Wait a second, why the fuck didn't he
one-
just do that in this movie?
What?
Go through all the fucking
He didn't
Yeah,
have
all the
Oh, that's right, because it's
No.
broken.
he still had the Eye of Agamotto. My wife it was funny. She was like, "That's not the right Doctor Strange. He still has the amulet." And I was like, I was like, no, the Eye of Agamotto was separate. It was just housing the time stone. Like,
But he crushed it.
No, that was a fake.
You remember?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember, but like that shit was real. Dude.
it was real to Devin, damn it.
Also, speaking of that in Infinity War, I had no idea until like the most recent time I watched Infinity War that Doctor Strange turned the time stone into a fucking star in the sky.
Yeah, he did.
I had no idea because I just we were watching it on TV and he just plucks it out of the sky and I was like, wait, hold on. How the hell did you do that?
How did you
What
not know?
the-
It was like the big thing.
No, like it's been like 3 years since that movie came out.
So was everybody just as excited as I was to see freaking Matt Murdock be Peter's
Oh.
lawyer
Hell yeah.
100%.
and to be played by Charlie Cox?
He's just a really good lawyer, man.
Yeah, I'm a really good lawyer.
Well, and have you guys finished Hawkeye?
No.
Yes, I was gonna actually bring that up.
Hold on, wait, because Devin
Spoiler.
has.
Devin hasn't seen it, so
Okay,
I mean,
but
Are you gonna watch it?
Yeah, I was planning on it.
If anything, Devin could probably put 2 and 2 together.
I think I can at this point since we're talking about. So at the same when we saw No Way Home, we were talking about Daredevil, and they were like, "Yo, Hawkeye." Though I imagine someone from the Daredevil show is in Hawkeye,
I don't know, man. I've never seen that show before.
so I have an idea of who's in it.
It really makes me hope that they are either going to give Charlie Cox either a TV show or a Daredevil movie, or there's speculations that he might be in the She-Hulk, TV series because
and
Jennifer
then
Walters
to
is
the
a
Avengers
lawyer.
later. Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. I am just happy that they let Charlie Cox be Daredevil.
As long
Again.
as they keep him as brutal as he was in Netflix, because Daredevil, Matt Murdock in the comics is a rageful motherfucker. Like he
Oh, yeah.
beats people's asses. You have to
Yes.
you can't have no PG version of Daredevil.
He's like the Batman of Marvel, and I hate to compare him to a different superhero because he's his own superhero. But in the terms of brutality and like
Oh,
grittiness, they're
yeah.
on that. They're on
Yeah.
that same level.
Sometimes I
Daredevil-
feel like he's a little bit more aggressive. Like I'm rewatching the Daredevil series, and it's that scene where and I'm showing my wife because my wife was like, "Oh, I know who that is." I was like, "No, we need to watch the show so you really know who he is."
Yeah.
And she was like, "What the hell are we watching?" It's that scene where Kingpin has that Russian dude, and he's just slamming
Oh yeah.
that car door until he decapitates him. And she goes, "What the hell are we watching?" I was like, "This is Daredevil." I was like, "That's the Kingpin." And then the next scene was freaking Daredevil just pounding on somebody. I was like, "Hell yeah!"
the man with no fear.
Yeah.
Daredevil is just pure testosterone.
In my opinion, Daredevil is literally the most powerful being in the Marvel
Like
universe.
human being.
Like
No,
human.
being, period. Like Daredevil will literally beat anybody in a fight.
This is-
Galactus, the one above all. I don't care who it is. Daredevil
People
will
look God
beat
in the
their
eyes and
This is-
say, "I'm fine, bitch."
Yeah, he'll beat your
Kang the Conqueror. Like,
Oh, yeah. Dude, the MCU is saved now because Charlie Cox is in it.
This is Shaver's most recent meme. that he's.
It's not a meme. I'm being legit.
But no, like circling back to the hype of that. As soon as he put down the stick,
Yes,
it better be the right Daredevil, and sure enough, it was.
It's Ben Affleck.
It's Ben
I was
Affleck.
hoping that we were not getting Ben Affleck.
That's what my girlfriend and I were saying. We were like, imagine if it was Ben Affleck.
That would have been fucking.
Everybody's just like, what the hell?
Just the biggest fuck you to the fans.
In the moment, I would have laughed my ass off walking out of the theater, been like, that was bullshit.
When was the last time you guys saw that movie?
The Ben Affleck one?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's been probably, I think maybe a year. I watched it because me and my wife were talking about it because she was like, I really liked that movie. And as a kid, I did too.
Yeah, as your kid.
And then when I rewatched it, I was like, what is going on?
Like the hottest piece of garbage fucking ever. That movie is ass.
So I was watching when the second Morbius trailer came out, and he was like, "Oh, I'm different. I'm stronger. I have this sense of like bat radar." Fucking stupid thing to say, by the way. But he said it, and then like it showed what the bat radar was, and I was like, "That's the thing that Ben Affleck had in Daredevil."
Yeah,
it looks exactly the same.
The rain sonar, like
Yeah.
That was probably one of the cheesiest scenes of that movie too, where he's like, "I can see your face" because of the freaking rain.
And then you got Evanescence playing in the background. Dude, that movie is so angsty and just gross, man.
I think honestly, growing up as a young boy, I think the only reason I put on Daredevil so much was because of Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, being Elektra.
Yeah.
Navarro brought in Morbius. I saw the Morbius trailer before the movie started, talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, do y'all guys think that they're gonna bring in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man like into the Sony Morbius?
The Sony universe?
I think so.
I hope not.
Well, no.
Why not?
Maybe.
I want them separate.
Morbius is a villain. Do you think that they're gonna try to make him kind of like Venom, like an anti-hero? I think
that's where they're going.
That's what they're doing, and that's why this shit sucks. Like,
hold on.
Start them off as villains and then make them anti-heroes, but keep them as villains at their core.
Why not start them as anti-heroes and then make them villains?
Because that's not who they are.
I mean,
okay. So you're talking about anti-hero and then villain. I mean, Eddie Brock just got brought in and then just got went back.
Was so funny though.
It was fun, but I was so mad.
The little puddle, was there. And
So there's a hint that we'll probably get the black suit Spider-Man like Tom Holland in the MCU. But what about
Morbius?
No, oh my gosh, I just forgot his Venom. Eddie Brock. I just forgot the actor's name.
So
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, Tom Hardy. Like what? Like I figured that Tom Hardy was probably gonna stay. Like because we had our speculations of Tom Hardy's gonna stay there, and then Venom's gonna leave him because Tom Hardy was being a little bitch, like and let there be carnage and stuff like that. Now he just went back, so it's like.
So I think what they did was, in order to protect, because in the Venom movies he's the hero, right? That's a universe without Spider-Man, is what it seems to be, right?
Yeah.
And so, they hinted at bringing him over, but it was just so that way they could have part of that symbiote go to Tom Holland without having Eddie and Tom fight each other, because you're basically having two franchise players face each other. So now I think what they're going to do with Tom Holland's character is he is going to get the black suit. And one video I saw, it explained it perfectly to where, Tom doesn't have the Stark tech anymore, right? He's just on pure wit, but he's still probably, depressed and everything over Aunt May. It goes to him. It amplifies those emotions. He's realizing he can, do things like he did with the Stark tech with the symbiote. But I don't think we're going to get another Eddie Brock. I think the symbiote might go to Scorpion, Mark Gargan.
It might even go to Flash.
I heard.
But I really don't want that. They actually plays Flash.
His ass
garbage. Like,
I've never liked this Flash because I could kick this Flash's ass. Honestly.
So they should have got the actor from the Amazing Spider-Man one, because I could see that actor being like Agent Venom. Yeah, he was perfect. Out of all the Flashes we got, that actor was the most accurate. And he was an asshole to Peter. He's bullying it, but then when Ben dies, he was compassionate. It still showed that side of him as well.
I don't know, man. I mean, I thought Joe Mingo Dingo was a pretty good
Snowman Dingo.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fight me either.
Yeah, he was pretty good. The only reason that I am going to watch Morbius is for Michael Keaton.
See what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Just for that cameo of the Vulture.
So
is he gonna be the Vulture in that?
Yeah, they're tying the universes together. Okay, I guess to eventually to the Sinister Six, but we'll see. Because they also introduced Scorpion too.
At the end of
Homecoming, yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, because we did see, in the trailer, Michael Keaton does come out, and it's one of those things where it's like, well, why? What's the Vulture doing there? Or is Michael Keaton going to be playing a whole a
different variant
character? So
nah, he's gonna be Vulture for sure.
So what Spider-Man do you think they're going to use then?
It's probably going to be Andrew.
Probably going to be Andrew.
Because specifically he talked about not pulling his punches. And there is a little poster with a Spider-Man. It's Toby's, which is weird. But the poster has written on it, murderer. So since we found out.
I didn't think about that.
Stop pulling his punches. People probably don't view him in such a good light in this universe. So it's
straight up murking people.
But it is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Well, who knows?
Maybe they're just.
What if it was the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit? Because that suit kind of looks similar to Tobey's suit.
It does. Instead of being like silver, it's like black.
It does look a little bit more.
Yeah, right. So maybe it is Andrew's Spider-Man. And maybe this is their way of using the Morbius film to hint at giving Andrew another chance at having the Amazing universe, and then we have the MCU 616 universe. You know what I mean?
I just don't want Jared Leto in my shit. Yeah. I'm tired of Jared Leto, man.
You like Jared.
I love Jared Leto, but ever since Joker, which I actually liked his Joker, he's just been on a downfall as a person.
It's because he went so fucking insane with that role, or thought he did.
Yeah. Now he's like a crybaby little bitch.
He was like putting rats and crap in people's room when he was like the Joker and stuff.
Yeah, ripped off him the condoms and sent him to Margot Robbie.
Did he start a cult too? Didn't he do that?
Yeah, that's like a thing.
Who knows, man? I love Jared Leto, but I don't want to see him in Morbius.
The Morbius movie, because I don't know how they're gonna build him up as like some anti-hero, because Venom, it does make sense because in the comic books Eddie does try to be good at one point, but Morbius, like I think of Morbius from the animated series, the Spider-Man animated series, the 90s one. Like that's who I always think of. Like he started out as a good guy, tampered with shit he wasn't supposed to, and then is just evil from the rest, from being bloodthirsty.
It could be that's where they're going with this movie, but we'll see.
I would rather have gotten Craven than
yes.
Talking about Craven, what villains do y'all guys pick out when Doctor Strange was like they're all coming in, and there was like little silhouettes of
Craven, people. Scorpion, Rhino.
Like classic Rhino.
Yeah, classic Rhino, yeah.
Okay. I'm glad it wasn't going crazy, because during the film I was like, wait, is that Scorpion? Wait, that was Craven right next to him, because he had the spear
and the fur.
And I was like, and then I saw the classic Rhino. I was like, okay,
these are different.
I hope other people saw it, because I hope I'm not the only crazy one that was trying to pick out little silhouettes.
My dumbass thought the Craven was an Ultron variant because of the spear, and I had just watched it. But I didn't notice the fur, so I just saw the spear, and I was like, oh shit, Ultron, but why is he here?
Craven, like, coming into some
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
the game, Spider-Man 2, the game.
No.
Yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson, Quicksilver, is apparently being cast as Craven now.
Yeah.
I think that'll be for one of the Tom Holland films.
Yeah, which is really fucking weird that they're reusing the same actor. But
the MCU does that sometimes.
They did that with Gemma Chan and Captain Marvel, and then Eternals.
And they also did it with that bitch from Guardians 2. No, the Asian actress who plays Shang-Chi's aunt. was one of the OG Guardians at the end of Guardians 2.
Wait, really? I didn't notice
Yeah,
that.
dude. Yeah, for real. There's another one.
The girl who
like-
plays Mantis?
No,
No.
Do you remember that end credit scene of? Was it in the second film or was it
in
the end
the
of the
second
first one?
Guardians.
Yeah, and Sylvester Stallone's team. That was apparently the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. And the
That's
Asian
wild.
who looks like Hella.
Asian Hella.
Yeah, she
Is,
plays
is in Shang-Chi? Because I
Yeah.
haven't seen Shang-Chi yet.
Shang-Chi's
so.
a pretty good movie.
Shang-Chi fucking
It's so
God.
good.
It's so good.
Very refreshing.
It's one of, if not the best origin film in the MCU.
Yeah.
Because Iron Man exists.
But
Well,
one
next
of-
to Iron Man, it might be the best origin.
That's what I'm saying. Like Iron Man set the bar as origin stories goes, and Shang-Chi got really close.
Yeah.
Like,
Spider-Man set the bar as far as origin stories
Where you have-
because we had
In
three.
in the
Yes.
MCU
We're talking about
though.
the
Yeah.
No, in the MCU,
That's
it's
three movies
Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home.
to
Man,
get
we
the
it was
classic
the origin story of the classic Spider-Man that we know and love.
Yeah, but single film origin stories.
Yeah.
Now there's
Yeah.
gonna be categories.
And the reason why Homecoming was that dope was because of Michael Keaton.
Fair enough.
That scene in the car alone is
Oh yeah.
Dude, that
So-
always gives me chills because could you imagine, like, I just want to take this girl out to prom, and then you realize that her dad is.
Supervillain.
Yeah, so two things about Homecoming when I first saw it. I unfortunately, Homecoming is the one Spider-Man film from the MCU I didn't see in theaters. I just was never able to. Then I watched it with my folks on Christmas break one time. And the first hour of the movie's pretty cool. I'm just chilling on the couch, kind of like laid back with all this. And I was like, oh, this movie's pretty cool. But when he swings that door open, I was like, holy shit. Yeah, when
Michael
it's
Keaton's
revealed that
reveal.
Michael Keaton is Adrian Toomes, I was like, oh, and the movie just changes from there on out. Like, it does not go back to what it once was. Like, all the kitty shit is over. Peter's about to die. Like, that shit was amazing. Far From Home, I have a lot of personal issues with.
No, okay. Here's the fucking thing about you and Far From Home. I fucking hate you. You're a fucking stupid asshole. You piece of shit. Literally. So in the trailers for whatever the fuck that one was, Mysterio one.
Yeah.
Far From Home. Yes. Literally, we see it, and Mysterio's like made out to be like, oh, is he gonna be a good guy in this movie? And of course, everyone and their fucking mother was like, no.
But he's a bad.
No. But Devin over here was like, well, I don't know, maybe they're gonna turn him into an anti-hero or a good guy in this movie, and maybe he'll work alongside Peter. And I'm like, do you not know anything?
No, I will defend myself. Hold on. So I'm very much a person who appreciates comics, and I also like things if they're
He's
comic
never
accurate.
fucking read one.
That's not true.
we
I
love
also-
each other here, obviously.
Yeah.
But I also like it whenever they do things different, because why just take the story we already know and then put it to the screen? Then there's no suspense. Like in that sense of like changing the story a little bit so that way you're caught off guard. And it's not just copy paste. Now, a lot of times the MCU doesn't copy paste stories.
Well, I disagree with you on that, but go
Yeah,
on.
not
Yeah,
with
some-
not with the character like Mysterio. I mean, you take like the Old Man Logan comics where Mysterio is the reason why Logan fucking slaughtered all of the mutants. Like, you're not going to turn a character like that into a good guy.
Well, right, yeah, fair. But like, I'm just saying it would have been kind of cool if he started out as a hero, his ego got the best of him, and then fought Spider-Man. I just thought that would have been kind of cool because that is Mysterio. His a big part of Mysterio's character is his ego
Nah.
and his giant fucking fishbowl-headed ego.
Did you guys ever play the Spider-Man 2 video game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
For the
Now-
Xbox, for the original Xbox.
Yeah.
yeah,
That was a Mysterio that I can fuck with.
yeah. Same.
Like just super like nerdy, like I'm better than Spider-Man.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it gets KO'd in one punch.
Oh, dude, this is my favorite part of the game. Where you just like one punch and boom.
Because he
Out.
was like Quentin Beck, like in the comic books, was like a theater guy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's why he was good with props and illusions and everything like that. And then this one, because when I coming into it, I was like, there's no way Mysterio is a good guy. He's like, playing it up. And he did, like, with the technology and everything like he had. It was perfect. I was like, that is a perfect interpretation of how Mysterio should be. He
So-
just
Yeah.
had the help of all these like failed like little side characters from like Iron Man. And,
Yeah.
And
So,
like, it's not like I'm sitting here thinking, oh, Mysterio's gonna be a good guy. I know Mysterio. I know these characters. He's gonna be evil. I just thought it would have been cool if they did something different.
Devin would have been the guy that would have believed that Spider-Man's a murderer. As soon as he heard J. Jonah Jameson's like thing about like this Spider-Man's a menace, Devin would have been like, yeah, you know, I believe Mysterio. He would have been the one throwing the brick through the window.
I fucking hate the many times they said Mysterio was right. Just like on the skull when they said Thanos was right. Fuck that person.
Wait, but Thanos was right.
No, he wasn't.
No, he kind of was right. But anyway,
Killmonger was also right.
Okay.
But anyway,
that one.
going back to No Way Home, Jameson was actually a fucking villain in this movie.
Yeah, he really was.
He's a piece of shit. Like when you watch the Tridge and you're like, oh, you know, he's an asshole, but we all love him because he's funny and he eventually comes around. No, he's actually a fucking villain in this movie.
Like this one, he is literally trying to ruin Peter's life. Like, no matter what, like it doesn't matter, you know, he's just a kid, and you know, even though he's done more good than, you know, but he was like, yeah.
I think it would have been funny if like Tobey Maguire, like as they're swinging like through the city, and then he just sees J. Jonah Jameson. He's like, wait a second,
what the hell?
That guy looks so familiar.
That's my
boss.
boss.
That would have been kind of cool.
A variant, you know?
One thing I love about this movie is that it has canonically set that every single J. Jonah Jameson is just J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
Like we didn't see him in the Amazing Spider-Man, but after this, it's like I'm pretty sure it's heavily implied that that's just J.K. Simmons.
I actually think that he was in, I think, one of the Amazing Spider-Man games though. He voiced Jonah Jameson in it.
What do y'all guys think about when Tom Holland says, because they're all, you know, they all say, look, we've never done this. We have never worked in a team. And Tom Holland says, oh, I have. I'm in the Avengers. And I mean, you know, of course, they all say like, oh, that's cool. Like, is it a band? But what did y'all guys think about that?
I love that.
Like in their universe, that they're just the only like heroes, I guess, that they know about.
They're
like,
probably not the only heroes, but maybe just the
Punisher was in the Raimi trilogy, technically.
Yeah, he was at the
time. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Woman running and then walks away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was there.
Yeah, so there's just no Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think potentially, and this is just me making up some bullshit for my own edification, but I like to imagine that after they hear about the Avengers, they like go back to their universes and then they like kind of start the Avengers, like as Peter Parker's.
That would be dope. That'd be awesome.
I just thought it was cool. I mean, of course, I felt like they had to do that for legal rights purposes, like for the movie. But like in the lore within the universe, I was kind of shook that there wasn't like references to like, oh yeah, like Tobey Maguire saying something about, you know, like there's
New York or something.
Yeah, like there's this guy or there's this hero that we know about, but I never worked with him. You know, kind of just
or like there's some family, like in Toby's, there's some family. There's like 4 of them, and they all have powers. And like,
that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, but I mean, I know that for legal purposes, they probably can't say anything. But I just thought it was kind of cool. I was like, huh, like.
Dude, that was probably like one of the funniest moments too. That whole movie had a lot of good, funny moments between all the Spider-Man and stuff. Like how Andrew was just bashing on Toby for dressing up like a hip youth pastor, and just all of them trying to figure out who's Peter 1, Peter 2, and Peter 3.
Like they kind of did the bit,
the meme. They're like, what Peter?
Where Ned calls them, and they're all like pointing at each other.
They kind of did it, right? Yeah. And that was cool.
And also, Toby did the Toby yell whenever Tom.
Like, how is this helping?
Yeah.
I like the back thing where he's like, I gotta limber up and everything, you know, going from, what was it, Spider-Man 2, where he starts losing his powers and stuff.
He fucks up his whole bag for him.
And just Andrew just kind of pops him, and they just have like a good bro moment.
The chemistry between the 3 of them was just fantastic.
Oh,
it was, you could say it was amazing. And
the whole Ned Leeds saying like, "I will never turn into a villain and hurt you, Peter."
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny.
But even
And
though
then-
he's the hobgoblin,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then at
What-
the ending, when Tom Holland, hugs them and says thank you, it's almost like a thank you amongst the actors as well. Because Tom Holland's career would not exist if it weren't for these two other guys.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or you could say without Tobey Maguire starting this whole thing off.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't have comic book movies
as great
as they are if it wasn't for Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi.
Because like there's arguments made that Blade also helped with that in X-Men.
Well,
but,
yeah, of course.
But it really comes down to the Raimi trilogy.
Bruh, watch your damn mouth. X-Men was the shit too.
X-Men was the shit, but like what X-Men walked so the Raimi trilogy could fucking run.
Ralph Boner.
Dude, yeah. That's
that.
what it all led to, the fucking Ralph Boner joke of WandaVision.
Full fucking.
I love that shit, man. So funny.
Anyway,
Don't even get me started.
Yeah,
man.
so what was y'all's favorite part of the movie?
Oh boy.
In No Way Home, my favorite part was
Was it the end scene where he's on the roof and it's snowing and he's just like sliding in his new homemade costume?
So my favorite part is when he enters his apartment, which looked a lot like Tobey Maguire's apartment.
Yeah.
You hear the guy down the hall say, "Rent is due first on the month. Don't be late." That was the best scene in the movie.
Because it
was like a callback.
If in the next movie they have to have a Rent scene,
I hope it's Mr. Dick from the Raimi trilogy.
Hope so. Kind of like how Jay Jonah is just J.K. Simmons. Like each thing of it is just that dude.
Yeah.
Asking for rent.
I think not necessarily. I mean, it's not really a part, but like just my favorite character and his storyline throughout everything would be Norman Osborn, because you can say that in the first Spider-Man you could see the split personality that he had in the Tobey Maguire one. Yeah. But it was way more prevalent in this one. Like, there's a clear distinction between Green Goblin and Osborn. Like, the poor guy was practically senile when he wasn't the Green Goblin.
like a scared child.
Yeah, he's in a new place. He's got no kid. He's got nothing to like back up who he is. Like, he's just terrified. And then that one scene with the spider sense going off, and it's just a complete 180 of his character to being like, fuck being scared. This is a new place that I'm gonna rule this shit because I can.
The way that they handled the spider sense in that scene was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, anytime Willem Dafoe breaks out the voice, it's amazing. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin voice is my sexuality. Like that shit. But my favorite part of the movie, there's so many to choose from. I really like the Doc Ock and Toby's Peter having that.
Yes.
I think if I really had to pick out, it was probably whenever they all had the game plan and they all ran and like they were together.
Yeah, where they team up and they're just going off of pure instinct.
And I didn't really catch on it at first, but after the movie, Shavers pointed out they all landed on the Statue of Liberty head in their respective stances. From their respective franchises.
Like they did their like mid-air pose and then they did their pose.
It was cool as fuck to see Toby's suit in today's CGI.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was dope.
I thought the silver could have popped a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. That's my favorite suit of all goddamn time, man. I can't get enough of that suit. I constantly wear it whenever I play Spider-Man PS4. I don't wear any other suit.
All right, that's good. What's yours?
No, I get it. Mine. Honestly, my favorite part was when Andrew Garfield comes in through the portal, and then Tobey Maguire comes in through the portal, which I thought was at first I kind of didn't realize, or I thought it was kind of weird how they give Ned some like magical powers. At first I thought it was because he had the ring,
the sling ring.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're gonna do something with that later on.
He becomes
that Brujo shit, you know?
Yeah, he becomes like the hobgoblin with a little bit of magic and tech. I don't know, but I liked that just because I wasn't expecting that. Like when he said, "Show me Peter Parker," and then the Spider-Man's coming in, and I was like, oh my god! Like as soon as you see the suit, and then the whole theater was just like, yeah. As soon as Andrew Garfield took his mask, and I just love that little interaction where it's like, prove it. Like prove you're Peter Parker, and he just hangs on the wall. Like, is this not enough? Come on,
knocking off the cobwebs.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like it was one of those things where it's like it's coming together, you know, like it's coming just like how the fans wanted it to come, all over our faces.
Not to interrupt, but speaking of that, I absolutely hate it that they call it the tingle. Call it the spider sense.
No, I like the tingle.
The Peter tingle.
I'm just glad they they dropped the Peter. Now they just kept tingle, and I'm more.
It still makes you think about his dick, man. Like it's the spider sense.
Well, get your mind out the gutter, Devin.
Yeah, man.
Dude,
jeez, this is a kid-friendly show, Devin.
No dicks in this universe.
What about you, Keegan?
I would have to say when Andrew saves MJ, like, cause I was a huge fan of Andrew Garfield. I thought his version of Spider-Man had, you know, like the comic book flair and everything. His Peter Parker wasn't, because I was like, this dude's supposed to be this nerd in high school, but he looks like a freaking Abercrombie and Fitch model, like, you know. But when he saved her, like, I felt it, like, you know, just that. And then the lab scene where you get to see all three of them show their wits and stuff, and how they, you know, thought about their villains and stuff, and how bad they wanted to save everybody, and, you know, focused on all that. Like those were the two biggest scenes for me.
Because that's kind of the downside of the Raimi trilogies, that we don't really get to see the smarts from Peter Parker in Tobey Maguire's movies. Like, we know he's a smart dude. Like, Peter's no slouch when it comes to the brain.
Yeah.
But we don't really get to see that in the Raimi trilogy movies.
Yeah, because with the organic webs, you
don't really
breaks away from Peter making his own web shooters and everything like that.
I love that they commented on that in the movie.
Yeah, the web blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you also pointed out too, each Spider-Man had their own respective sounds.
Oh, their own whip noises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that, where they're like, here's your web fluid, and Toby's just like, why do you need that? And he's like, check this out.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone freaks out because like, you can't do that.
He's like, what do you mean? Like, you can't, like
the details.
Yeah.
Details.
It's really true.
One thing about the movie that I find funny is there at the end, like, yes, they cure everybody, but like 2 out of 5 of those villains just didn't want to be cured. So who's to say, like
Electro,
and
the lizard
Connors.
Yeah.
So who's to say that, like, when they go back to the universes,
they won't just fuck it up
they're
again?
just not going to do it again? Because Connors was pretty evident. He's like, I want to be a lizard. This is human evolution.
Yeah, like I was super surprised, because I'm pretty sure he regretted his decision after, you know, the first movie.
Yeah.
You know, like he was like, oh, thank you, you know, I'm back to, you know, being a human and stuff. And then in this one, he's like, no, like, I don't want to do this. Like, yeah. And then I can't remember who he was talking to, or he's like, I can change you. Like,
he's talking to Electro.
Yeah.
I really liked the villains. I mean,
especially the tree. The tree was the worst villain.
Oh yeah.
I was terrified when I saw that thing.
I was waiting for them to make like some like little like Groot reference or something, like just hear it.
Well, if they wanted to go deep into Spider-Man lore, there's Coconut Tree Man.
Coconut Tree.
It's a real villain in the Spider-Man universe, where it's a dude who turns into a coconut tree and throws coconuts. Like, this is from the old time. Wow. That could have been a reference to that.
I just loved how Ned was like, is this like a magical tree or something like that? And he's like,
no,
it's just a tree.
Yeah.
No, what I was gonna say about the villains is, I don't mean, out of all the villains, I feel like the lizard was the less, like, they gave him like the less time, like he was kind of just there just to fill space. But even him, I just liked how all the villains kind of just interacted, and it gave them like a little bit of an of like an arc, in a way of showing them, you know, why they are kind of evil, you see Electro, he automatically says, man, I really like it here. Like, I love it, like the power and everything.
Different.
He has way more cockiness than what he did like in the Amazing Spider-Man universe. And then of course Sandman kind of just the one thing that I thought was kind of weird, how Sandman, even though he protects Peter from Electro in the beginning, because of what happened in Spider-Man 3, where he's just trying to do good.
Yeah.
And this universe, he's like, look, I'm just trying to get back to my daughter. He kind of sides with the villains, which at first I was like, okay, like they kind of didn't explain it why he did that. But I guess he just wanted to,
because they seemed like they knew what they were doing, because he
Yeah.
didn't know this
Yeah,
Peter.
he didn't
He's
trust
just
him.
a kid,
Yeah.
and he has no idea what he's doing. And so
I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
for sure. I love that they let Jamie Foxx be Jamie Foxx in this one.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that stupid fucking Hollywood like nerd stereotype
Where he has like a gap in his teeth and crap like that.
and glasses and a comb over and all that stupid shit. Like, we need to get rid of that stereotype. But they actually let Jamie Foxx be black, and it was awesome.
and I thought it was cool, the banter between Electro and Sandman, where they're all like, hey, what happened to you? I fell. It's like, you gotta watch out where you fall.
Yeah.
Like the Electro is hilarious on this.
Like, Jamie Foxx is a funny guy, and if you let him be himself, it just works.
Yeah.
People gripe that he did change personalities from like super nerdy to like this cool, calm, collected guy
With
and
swag. No.
Yeah. I was thinking about it. I was like, to be fair, if you've had that much dope like electricity superpowers like going through your butt,
you would feel like a god.
Yourself not change. Of course you'd be fucking cooler after that.
Yeah.
You're like, no one can touch me after.
Literally.
I loved that bit when he's like, I really thought you were gonna be black, man.
Oh yeah. Andrew just goes,
and like, and Andrew like apologizes. Like,
yeah, he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like,
there has to be a black Spider-Man out there. Yeah, everyone in the theater was like, oh, Miles Morales.
He's related to Donald Glover.
Speaking of him, where the hell he been in the Spider-Man universe?
He's out of crime.
He's DL, man.
He's done with that life. Yeah. Are you talking about Aaron Davis?
Yeah.
Hey, he's out of that life,
dude. He was introduced in Homecoming. They have done nothing with him.
Maybe they're saving it.
Yeah,
for him to be the Prowler.
Yeah, that would be dope. It just seems weird that like Donald Glover is playing an important character in Spider-Man, not just to Peter Parker, but to
it was just
Miles
an Easter egg.
Morales.
It was just an Easter egg.
He might come back. It's Marvel.
I don't want Marvel to lose another opportunity that they could use, much like with Quicksilver and Ralph Boner. I really hate
good old Ralph Boner.
I hate it so much, but I won't go into it. But like,
so where do y'all guys like to like last thing, kind of just to like wrap it up and stuff? Where do y'all guys think it's gonna go from here on out in terms of the MCU? Because we already got the trailer for the new Doctor Strange movie, which is probably going to correlate with, hey,
the events from this movie.
You messed up with this movie, right? Like, what happened here? What do you think we're going to go from moving forward?
I think two things moving through this next phase. Obviously, I can't say the name, but in Hawkeye, we get released. We see the new villain.
Yes.
I think he's going to represent all the street level shit in the MCU, while Kang is going to represent the cosmic evil shit. So you're going to have both of these things happening at the same time, respectively to their own like power abilities.
Yeah.
Like who we get introduced to, reintroduced to in Hawkeye, he's going to fuck shit up for sure.
Oh yeah.
But then Kang, of course, is going to also fuck shit up. And then eventually he's going to end up being our final baddie. That might lead into Galactus at one point, hopefully.
I really hope it's Galactus.
Yeah.
So what do y'all think that they're gonna bring in any of like the street? What street heroes do you think that they're gonna bring in?
Well, so some that are already being introduced. I mean, you got She-Hulk, who she can keep up with cosmic beings, but we also, I think it's only a rumor, but I think it's been confirmed that John Bernthal's coming back as Punisher.
Yeah, I think they've confirmed. I hope so. I think John Bernthal. Well, now we know Charlie Cox is
Daredevil, Moon Knight.
Jessica Jones, I think they might bring back. I think the only two that won't come back are Luke Cage and Iron Fist, because those two shows didn't
Iron
do
Fist.
well.
Luke, the actor who plays Luke Cage, is perfect though. I hope they bring him back. Yeah.
I kind of just.
Oh, and Blade.
Oh, Blade.
Yeah, which also ties into the Black Knight, because at the end of the Eternals movie, it was Blade talking to Dane Whitman.
Yeah.
Was it? Was that confirmed?
Yeah. What is
Marshall Lee's voice?
Oh,
yeah,
that's dope.
So he'll be slaying vampires. Black Knight will be with Blade.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That was actually the one thing about Eternals I was hyped about, was like Kit Harington, like being the Black Knight. I was like, cool, we're gonna see a little bit of that in this movie, and then I had 2.5 hours of mediocrity.
Of God's Yo, remember that?
Oh, the sandpaper,
the sand sex in Eternals.
Dude, that scene threw me off in that movie. I was like, wait, whoa, this is a Marvel movie.
It was a chill way to introduce a sex scene into Marvel film. It didn't need to be all gross, keeping in mind that those two characters are fucking virgins. It's literally their first time having sex ever. Of course, it's gonna look like that. Like, you know what I mean?
It could have been less awkward.
Hey, what, dude? When you're a virgin and you have sex with another virgin, we're not getting into it. But anyway,
what I also want to see, I want, as far as Spider-Man goes, I want to see Jay Jonah go full Alex Jones in this universe.
Well, he already did.
I don't like them putting chemicals in waters that turn the freaking spiders gay.
Well, they already showed him that, so they're probably going to continue with that. Okay.
Yeah.
So Matt, you think that there's going to be some street level shit going on for Disney Plus probably, and some cosmic level stuff for like maybe films and whatnot?
Yeah, and they might do a little bit of that street shit, because I know Blade is a movie.
Yeah, Blade will be a movie, and then you have Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Echo, and Secret Wars, I think, is all going to be TV shows.
Yeah,
and Armor Wars as well.
Yeah, that too.
And the Marvels.
Yeah, I think that's a movie.
That's a movie, yeah. So, but that'll be more cosmic level shit.
We gotta keep up with
this next year is going to be nuts. And then you got Ant-Man that's going to be coming out. Ant-Man and Wasp, Quantumania, which apparently that's when we're going to first see Kang. Though I'm sure we're going to get Kang in Multiverse of Madness, where that's not Strange Supreme from What If.
It straight up is Strange Supreme.
It
is.
We'll find out.
No, but like, regardless of whether or not that's Strange Supreme, I think Multiverse of Madness is going to be the movie
that sets up.
No, that connects, like, not just Marvel What If, but these like TV shows and everything like together. I think it's going to be that buck wild.
Well, yeah, because did you see like the very last credit scene? It was basically a trailer where Doctor Strange, goes after the Scarlet Witch, and she says, "Oh, you're here for what I did in Westview." Yeah, in Westview. He's like, "No, I'm here for something else." So you're right.
Give two shits about what you did to those people in that town.
Bigger issues right now.
Yeah, so you're right. Like, this movie is probably going to be the movie to kind of connect everything that's been going on to like a cohesive, like, oh shit, this is the new, like we were talking about the last time, Kang the Conqueror being the next bad guy. Oh shit, this is like the new threat now, and this is where I think
what all this is going to lead to is the Young Avengers, because and this is just kind of pure speculations, because now you got Kate Bishop from the Hawkeye series, you have Scott Lang's daughter, you have Elijah Bradley, the Patriot, and then
Kamala Khan.
Yeah, Kamala Khan,
and Peter Parker.
Then Spider-Man could wind up, Tom Holland's character could be a part of that as well. And then also at the end of Endgame, at Tony's funeral, the little boy from Iron Man 3, some were speculating that he would be Iron Lad, but that would mean he's a variant of Kang.
Right.
So I mean,
it could be cool.
They can tie it all together if they want to.
Yeah, well, definitely Multiverse of Madness is going to be the one that sets it up, because you also got Loki and Sylvie in the film as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're gonna tie in that shit in with the film. So that movie is gonna be the thing. Yeah.
Sam the Man Raimi is directing it, so I am
Hell yeah.
super.
Yeah.
Oh, and America Chavez.
Oh yeah. American
Oh
Top.
yeah, that's right. And her character name is what was it? It's not Miss America.
America. Yes, America.
The
Yeah.
Is it
shitty
Miss
fucking
America?
character.
It's
Huh?
not a great
So
character.
that's a fucking shitty ass character.
They might.
I like America Chavez.
They might.
Man,
you know,
that's
I don't want to say fix, but like they might, rewrite her to where people can kind of digest the character a little
Well,
bit better.
aren't they changing like Miss? What the?
Well, they're also bringing in what's her face, Ironheart.
Yeah,
Riri
Ironheart.
Williams. That character everybody absolutely hated. So
Iron Man?
I like her. but whatever.
The black
I
one?
only liked her when she was getting stomped by Doctor Doom when he was Iron Man.
Yo. Damn.
Oh wait, Fantastic Four is next year also, right?
Either that or in 2023.
I think
Because
it's
John, the director from the Spider-Man movies, is going to direct the Fantastic Four, which is
Really?
going to be awesome. John Watts, I have good faith in him.
Yeah, for sure.
I haven't heard anything about the Fantastic
I just
Four.
wish they get John Krasinski and Emily Blunt as Reed Richards and Susan Storm.
Yeah.
Speaking of further out movies and like kind of space stuff, Guardians 3 I am hotly anticipating for. Because
Yes.
Guardians 2 is my favorite MCU film out of all of them. I
Out,
cry
out of everything,
out of all of the movies. Guardians 2 is my favorite. I cry every single time I watch that movie.
that's such a good movie. I actually watched that recently. That's one of those I can actually watch over
It
and over
hurts.
again.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
hurts.
how Ego just basically was like, yeah, I give your mom cancer.
Mhm.
Like-
Well, not just that, but like Yondu
Yondu.
too. Like, how do you completely redeem a character during the course of a movie and then you just kill him? Like,
well, exactly like that.
He
Exactly.
says,
like
yeah,
that.
I'm your space dad. I'm your space dad.
I'm your space dad. No.
And-
Fuck
and
you.
there's one line specifically in that movie that
Is
gets
it
me.
I Have a Penis?
No, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, Mary Poppins makes me cry every time. No, it's whenever Peter there at the funeral, he says, I had a pretty cool dad. And I'm like, fuck, so did I. No, my dad is still alive. I'm just saying, like, it's just like it makes me think about my dad. I'm like, fuck, I do have a cool dad.
I need to call my dad right now.
Yeah, exactly right.
It was like watching Up again. Like when you're done watching Up, you gotta call
Aw.
your grandparents and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah. That was a sidetrack. I like to
But-
Guardians too.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, do y'all guys have any other last thoughts before we close out?
I just think we're in for a lot of good stories still to come, because a lot of speculations was after Endgame, how can they keep us all hooked and everything like that. And with Spider-Man No Way Home is a clear example that they still have so many ideas now.
Yeah.
That I'm just excited to see what is going to happen next with Spider-Man's arc. Are we going to get 2 different Spider-Men now to where Andrew can finish off his stuff and actually get a good movie, ending and maybe wrap up his arc, and then Tom getting the 3 movies that he's having? That's all I really want.
yeah.
So, all right. Well, I just want to say, thanks for y'all guys.
Yeah, seriously.
coming
Thanks for
in.
having us.
For evidence.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, and I like doing this. So
Yeah.
this is awesome.
It's nice actually seeing people and talking to them.
Yeah, talking about this. So I appreciate it. Again, for all our viewers and listeners, make sure to go check out Matt Shavers and the Evil Ways and Fuzzy No Fuzzy Productions on YouTube and wherever you listen to music. And make sure to follow us on all our social media like Facebook and Instagram. So
and then listen to us on Spotify,
Yeah.
Apple, and Google, wherever you can listen to any podcast.
So we appreciate it. Thanks again. And I mean, we'll
sign
cue
off
that
over
music.
there.
So
We'll see
see
y'all.
ya.